Welcome to IELTS on Air. Today I want to talk to you about the psychological side of the exam, stress management, and how to maintain your motivation. In my experience, I can confirm that how you manage your stress and emotions plays a big role. As I previously said, success depends on different dynamics. I would say 60% of your achievement comes from language skills and 40% comes from stress management. So what do you think? What is your ratio? Please write in the comments below. Are you able to control your stress or do you panic a lot? Do you feel nervous? I mean, it's okay to feel a bit nervous. We're all human. But if you're trembling, if you can hear your heartbeats, and if the stress is causing speech or comprehension problems, even though you have a good command of English, then you need to do something about it. If you don't address this issue now, it will be a lifelong struggle for you, because you're likely to encounter similar situations later in life. There can be another exam that you need to take, a job interview, a presentation at work, or having a meeting with a CEO, which can be a turning point in your life. These people like confidence and they want to work with confident people. Now let's first identify why you may feel that way even if you have a good level of English. Because if you're very low level, then there's no point in being stressed. You just need to first focus on improving your language skills and then take the test. So what might be the major causes of stress? It may depend on the person, however, in general, the following examples are the most common issues. Previous negative experiences with exams, controlling, perfectionist parents, some medical issues, being in an unfamiliar situation, a life-changing event for you, fear of authority, the test is maybe your last chance, some external pressure, financial side of it. You may have high expectations from yourself, but you don't feel fully ready to take the test, or all of them. And if you have your own reasons, please write below so that we can add it to the list. I really want to learn what causes stress for different people. Now let's discuss these points in detail. As for previous negative experiences with exams, well, this isn't only for your previous IELTS experience if you have taken the test before. Well, think about your entire education life. Some people are just great learners, but they cannot do well at exams. I was one of them, and it took me a while to build confidence. To understand the underlying problems, make a list of the things that lower your confidence. For example, have you ever failed in an exam constantly? Maybe you tried over and over again, but no results. Despite all your efforts, you failed. So this feeling of failure can seriously lower your confidence. To deal with this issue, first you need to practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself as you navigate these feelings. Remember, many people share similar fears. And secondly, you need to be realistic about your level. If you're around 5 and if your target score is 7, well, you cannot jump from band 5 to band 7 in 2 months. You just cannot. It takes time to make progress. To get more information on IELTS band score explanations, please see my videos on the assessment criteria and leveling up. So you need to have a sensible idea of what can be achieved or expected and then make a study plan accordingly. I place great emphasis on being realistic about your level. Some of my students didn't like it when I told them they were not ready to take the test. They were disappointed and resentful. But the teachers who are honest with you are doing a big favor. If you have financial concerns, it will be wise to take the test when you're truly ready, as any unsuccessful attempts will be a waste of money for you. So to avoid disappointments and financial losses, take the test when you're ready and try to be more organized, make plans, and don't be a last-minute person. Start studying for IELTS at least a year before the date you need to submit the result. Let's briefly talk about fear of authority. This is about talking to someone who is in charge or someone who has more control over the situation than you. And in our case, the authority figure is the interviewer or the examiner for IELTS. But fear of authority does not only apply to tests. It can be in any situations where you are asked questions, like a job interview or legal meeting or a court. Dealing with a fear of authority can be challenging, but there are several strategies you can try. First, all you need to remember is the person who is asking you questions is just a human like you. Try to view authority figures as people with their own challenges and responsibilities, rather than as intimidating individuals. No need to exaggerate the position of the interviewer. She's just doing her job, which is asking you a few questions and assessing your English. Don't put the person in authority to a higher place on your mind. Just be respectful and follow the instructions. And if there is something you don't understand, ask politely for a repetition. Secondly, try to reflect on where your fear comes from. Is it based on past experiences, personality traits, or specific situations? Understanding the root cause can help you address it. Taking small steps and being patient with yourself can lead to gradual improvement in your perception of authority. Let's move on to talk about some biological factors of stress. It is certain that your concentration and emotions can significantly improve if you pay attention to certain things. So these are sleep, reducing the time spent on social media, exercise, healthy eating, avoiding too much caffeine, alcohol, or smoking, and balancing your blood sugar levels. If you pay attention to these points, you can at least eliminate or reduce the effects of the biological factors that lower your concentration. So stress and concentration are negatively correlated, meaning as stress levels increase, concentration goes down, and people are also more prone to making mistakes when they are overly stressed. We need low levels of stress or manageable stress, in other words. It is not realistic to try to get rid of it completely, as stress at the right level can actually increase your concentration. If you have more than normal levels, you should first identify the cause, then see a professional. So we need a better focus, and how can we improve it? Sleep should be your number one priority as it clears and restores the brain by flushing out toxins that build up during the day. There are several studies which show the effects of sleep deprivation on neural functioning. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. Poor sleep increases cortisol and affects serotonin and dopamine, impacting our mood, focus, and stress management. Balancing hormones is essential for optimizing brain health and productivity. I will make a separate video on how hormones affect our concentration and motivation. Please subscribe if you haven't already and turn on your notifications not to miss on my weekly videos. Another important step that you may need to consider is closing your TikTok account for a while. If social media is taking your time and energy more than it should, then you have to take a break from it. TikTok is just an example here. It can be any platform for which you have developed an addiction. Even Netflix, as many people spend time there longer than they intend to. You need healthy levels of dopamine for concentration. Unfortunately, the excessive use of social media is messing with your dopamine receptors up in the brain. Use the time you spend on social media at the gym or in a park where you can walk or run and get fresh air. Exercise will increase your serotonin, dopamine, and endorphin levels, and it will boost your confidence. And you will also become more optimistic, while social media often has the opposite effect. When you constantly see people who are richer than you, taller than you, slimmer than you, and more successful than you. Constant exposure to such content will lower your confidence and it will cause distraction. If you don't feel motivated enough to study, or if you tend to get bored easily, then you need to pay attention to dopamine, which plays a crucial role in regulating focus and attention. Here is how it works. Dopamine is often referred to as the feel-good neurotransmitter. It is released in the body in response to rewarding activities. So, there has to be a positive outcome in order to pursue a task. When you lose your motivation, you need to remember why you are taking the test. Just make a list and imagine you have achieved your target score, and focus on your reward more than the difficulties you're having. Let's complete these sentences with your own words. If I get 7, I can study abroad, which has always been my dream. If I get 7, I can get promoted. If I get 7, I can find a better job. So make your own list and repeat the affirmations every day. There are 2 types of dopamine, fast and slow. You need to be careful with fast dopamine release to be able to benefit from the positive effects of dopamine. Fast dopamine sources are often associated with immediate rewards or high stimulation activities such as social media, video games, or junk food. Unfortunately today, we are surrounded by fast dopamine sources, which is why concentration problems are very common. So, what are some effects of fast dopamine on our focus and motivation? Firstly, dopamine from quick rewards can shorten attention spans. Over time, it becomes harder to concentrate on tasks that require sustained effort. Secondly, the constant pursuit of instant gratification can lead to addictive behaviors, making it challenging to focus on important but less exciting tasks. And as a result, you may experience feelings of anxiety or restlessness when not engaged in high stimulation activities. In short, fast dopamine turns you into a pleasure seeking individual who has no motivation to do activities that require effort and commitment. So many people who are described as lazy are actually the individuals who may be struggling to stay motivated as their dopamine is working against them. To deal with the negative effects of fast dopamine, you need to reduce your reliance on instant rewards to feel good. Instead, consider activities that promote sustained engagement and delayed gratification, such as reading or long term projects. So stop seeking pleasure all the time. Instead, start seeking meaning or purpose in your life. You can also practice mindfulness and meditation. I just want to share with you that I have a video on meditation for exam stress. You can start your study routine with that meditation I prepared for you. Another important point for stress management and concentration is eating healthy. You need to increase your protein intake, healthy carbs, and fats, as these are essential for a productive brain. Have your B vitamins checked, as this vitamin is so important for memory. Balancing your blood sugar levels will also improve your focus and productivity. If you're snacking too often, you may need to reconsider this habit or choose healthier alternatives. Today, the consumption of caffeinated drinks, which are high in sugar, is quite common among young people. It breaks my heart when I see high school students having energy drinks and donut for breakfast. These will only boost your energy levels temporarily, but you will feel exhausted in the long run. Do not look for momentary solutions. You will need your brain for a lifetime. Unfortunately, young people tend to take their health for granted. Yes, young people have more energy even if they sleep less, and they don't get sick as much as other age groups even if they have a terrible diet. But concentration problems are much higher among young people. So, unhealthy lifestyle may not make your body sick, but your brain suffers. Actually, healthy eating habits you gain now will help you become more successful in your career too. You need to nourish your brain if you want it to serve you well. In today's world, we need to keep up with constant changes. Every day, something new is introduced. We need to be more creative to stand out in the job market, so we need a healthy, productive brain to be successful. It is certain that life is more complex today. So please limit your caffeine intake daily to 1 or 2 cups of coffee and give your brain real nutrients. As too much toxins in the blood can fog your brain, you should also avoid alcohol and tobacco. And please do not detox or diet closer to your exam date, as while detoxing, your body is releasing all the toxins from the cells, then these toxins go into your bloodstream directly, and this causes heaviness and brain fog. Fasting may also cause this. If you're in the middle of a fasting protocol, and if your body is used to it, then it may be okay. Use your own judgment. If you're observing Ramadan, and if your exam date coincides with the early days of Ramadan, then I don't recommend fasting, as your body is trying to adjust to a new eating and sleeping pattern. This may create some concentration problems. If you're in the middle of Ramadan, however, and if you're feeling okay, then use your own judgment. Now I give you a list of foods and drinks which I use to boost my concentration and to enhance my mood. The first one is a mixture consisting of walnuts, honey, and coriander seeds. This is something I use to boost my memory and focus and to manage anxiety. Rosemary tea and rosemary essential oil, black cumin seed oil, sage tea, fish oil supplements or eating fish regularly. Lean proteins, nuts, and dairy can be beneficial, as these foods are rich in tyrosine, which is an amino acid that helps produce dopamine. Now I give you a great breakfast menu to increase your concentration and productivity. Milkshake made with plain whey protein and collagen, full-fat fresh milk and a banana, peanut butter and wholemeal bread, and black coffee. If you don't like coffee, or if you're a tea person, then have some tea with cloves, as the spice has stress-relieving effects. Another healthy option for breakfast can be eggs, cheese, and wholemeal bread. It is important to include good quality protein, as it keeps you going for a long time, stabilizing your blood sugar levels. If you're not a breakfast person, then have an apple in the morning. Apples are a great substitute for coffee, and eating an apple will energize you and will increase your concentration. Finally, I want to suggest you Bach flower remedy. Please Google it if you don't know what it is. It is actually a very popular alternative remedy. If you have a serious condition, however, you need to get professional support. But if you have mild symptoms, you can try Bach flowers. The following ones can be used for stress management, anxiety, and concentration problems. So these are elm, oak, white chestnut, cherry plum, clematis, and rescue remedy. Please see a professional to choose the best option for yourself. So dear friends, I hope you'll find this video useful, and please write a comment on the things you try to manage your stress and to improve your focus. You may also see my other videos to get more information on the speaking part of the test. To benefit from our unique content, please subscribe. Thank you for listening.